Hi and welcome back. We have the lovely Rachel on today from PMDD. She's created the Women's Awareness Community and we cannot wait to get into this because there's so many ladies out there who are going to really benefit from this chat. So welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. Thanks. And tell us a little bit about obviously what you have set up, because when you reached out to us, I was like, oh my God, the listeners will absolutely love this.
They definitely will. I think it's so important that we're kind of getting the message out there. So I have, I'm going to say we a lot, but it's not, it's just me. I'm just me on my own. But we have set up, I'm led to believe the Northwest first peer-led PMDD experience lived community within the Northwest. And I set this up from a personal kind of voyage and a long time of suffering and whatever, and loads of education that I've given myself around it. But what we're finding is women are getting diagnosed with this and then nothing. There's no post-diagnostic service, there's nothing. So by bringing women together, we're kind of validating each other, we're giving each other advice, obviously not clinical advice, it's dead important to say that, but we're just helping each other, and it's literally grown arms and legs so fast. Like I didn't think it would, but yeah.
So anyone out there, what is PMDD? Because obviously this is the first time I've heard it put like this.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show the amount of awareness that really needs to be brought to it, because I think if I was to, I'd be like, oh, what's that? Because it's like you say, it's not out there, is it enough?
No, it's not. It's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So it's now considered a disability, a mental disability. It's a cyclical mood disorder. So you'd think of it as kind of like PMS, but on clinical steroids, like where it's affecting your daily functioning, it's affecting your job, your relationships, literally everything around you. It's not kind of, and I'm not dismissing PMS at all, but it's not kind of need to get in bed with a hot water bottle, need a bit of chocolate type of thing. It's like clinical intervention is needed throughout the luteal phase of your cycle. So it's something that needs to be an awareness of it, definitely.
So there is obviously four cycles we went through
four
before,
stages
wasn't
in
there?
your cycle.
So one's luteal,
follicular, menstruation and ovulation. So PMDD will hit you the hardest from you begin ovulating, which is probably around day 10 of your cycle, maybe, right the way through until you bleed. And then you'll bleed for 5 days. So then that's no quality of life. And then for me personally, I might have about 3 to 4 good days a month where I'm like me, motivated, energetic, like I'm just myself, my lovely bubbly self. And then the rest of the month, it just takes me.
And is it hormone based, or is it, like you say, is it more like a mental disorder that you're saying? Because obviously it's both,
literally both. So the research, so it's very under-researched and very underfunded. Women's health is, you'll know that from speaking to women all the time, won't you? But what we're kind of leaning towards is that it's the brain cannot handle the hormone fluctuations.
Yeah.
So the brain is literally so sensitive that it just goes haywire, basically.
Now that must be so, like, if you think it out of 30 days, only having 5 days of good days, that's overwhelming for a woman, and not to realise that that's going on as well inside. Because like you say, a lot of women might not know they're even suffering with this.
I was saying this before, I've left my piece of paper at home with all my stats on. So this is by memory, so please don't quote me on this, like kind of go away and research it yourself. But within the Northwest alone, we're estimating that there's between 50 and 70,000 women that have this. And how many? What scares me is that how many women don't know.
Yeah.
How many women of what we're seeing within the PMDD Northwest community that we've created is we're having older women coming into us and saying, that wasn't a thing then, but I definitely had that.
Yeah.
And the stories that they're telling us, and it's like, oh my God. But years ago, it was just like, well, my nan suffered and my mum suffered. So it's kind of like, you can't like passing that. What's the word?
You might not know you're suffering though if
you're in
it for that long and you're only
it's just your normal.
That's what I think. If you was only normal for 4 days, you would just think the other lot is your norm, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I honestly just thought it was me. Like for years, I started menstruating at 14 and by 15, I was on medication, I was on the pill. because of the debilitating physical symptoms. And then I couldn't hold a relationship, a job. I was just dead angry. I was horrible. Like I was a horrible teenager. The only time I got relief from my symptoms was throughout my 2 pregnancies. Now, how crazy is that? I've got a 16-year-old and a 3-year-old. And for years and years, it was like, I had to go to the doctors, you're depressed. And I was like, do you know what? I'm actually not. Like, I'm loads of fun. Like, I'm a ball. Like, I'm definitely not depressed. And backwards and forwards. And I wasn't diagnosed until I was 36.
Wow.
That's a long time. And they were throwing things out like bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
Because of the cyclical nature of it. So I actually was kind of like on board with the fact that I have, borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. And it was actually a woman who diagnosed me. And I'd never heard of it. And she was like, I think this is what you've got. Go away and like track your cycle.
Have a little look.
And I was just like, reading a little book about me, and I was like, oh my God.
Probably thought I can understand myself a little bit better. She
I printed it out and was giving it to everyone. Like, this is me. That's what's wrong with me. That's what's happening. So, yeah.
Because what are some of the symptoms? Obviously, they must be similar to something like bipolar then, if that's kind of
The
the
mental
linking them
ones,
two together. Yeah.
So it's for me, from my personal experience and the ones that are kind of listed, because it's in the DSM-5 now, which is like the statistical manual for mental health disorders. So it's actually been in there for, I think it's 15 years. Again, don't quote, it might be a bit longer. So the symptoms are like literal 0 to 20 rage. Like, it's not like being a bit snappy. It's like full on rage. Rage that scares me sometimes, that like, I'm like, oh my God, it just comes from nowhere. Irritation, against like severe, like I can't even wait in a queue on the phone. Like it's like, go like a child, like a toddler.
Yeah.
You just can't wait. Agitation, brain fog. It affects your executive function and your memory. Things like, like if I can't cook when I'm in PMDD because like the pans scare me. That's going to sound really strange, but can you imagine like a pan that's bubbling and you get really overstimulated? And to me, that's like scary.
Yeah.
But on a normal day, I absolutely love cooking, and I love, it just takes you away from who you are.
Do you know what's scary about that? How under-researched this is? Because obviously, let's take it maybe to like, women are nurturing creatures. Yeah. But obviously, there's maybe ladies out there who have snapped during this moment. There's been no mental health diagnosis, but maybe, might be kind of like criminated now, like, like in prisons, because they've like maybe done stuff like to the partners and gone, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, that's it. Is it? Then you look and you think, there's probably links to this.
Do you know what? It's funny you've just said that about kinds of the criminal justice system, because I've just reached out to Style to try and go and do a workshop within there. So we're just kind of backwards and forwards to them at the moment, because I think how many women have literally snapped, like, and just, but you can. Yeah. You physically can. Thankfully, I haven't. When I've been close to it, I've just left the house. Because you can feel it. It's like it literally starts from your toes, but it comes so fast and your whole body gets hot, and it's full on rage.
Probably then striking out, and then your body just isn't being able to self-regulate back down with it. That must take a while for it to then regulate back down. But then if you're in that for like 30 days, like 25 days, how do you re-regulate yourself to come down to a normal level?
It's absolutely terrifying. I think awareness is so important. So once you know what it is, you can kind of forgive yourself, because as I said to you before, for years I was just thinking I was a bit of a shitty person, and so it's having that awareness to kind of know that this isn't who I am, this is something that's happening to me, and this is what I coach, because I coach women now through this. This is what I'm coaching women with, and that understanding and that validation is worth its weight in gold.
Because we were speaking before as well, and you were saying how it's linked, they're trying to link PMDD with ADHD as well now.
It is. I think the current statistic is, I think it's 49 to 50% of women that are diagnosed with ADHD are also either on the pathway or have ADHD as well, myself included. And we said to you before about the older women that are coming to our groups and our events. a lot of them have had their hysterectomies because that's kind of like the only cure. That's like the best long-term cure that people are finding. There's other treatments, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But what we found, which is like really scary and like, oh my God, is that the older women are having the hysterectomies and then things are kind of normal for a little bit, and then later on they're still having like problems, and they're then getting diagnosed with ADHD. How crazy.
Because I think if you're having a hysterectomy, all you're really taking is the hormone level away.
Yes.
But then if the actual physical mental problem's still there, you're not going to fix it if it is PMDD, really, are you? Because you've only solved one part of it, I suppose. Because what are the physical symptoms that you would be feeling?
So the physical symptoms are extreme bloating. I'd love to send you a picture to kind of put over this when I'm talking about it, because it's so important. We have what's called PMDD face, and you literally, your face literally changes. I'll show you when we finish.
Wow.
And that I won't get married because of this. I literally won't marry my partner because I say, what if I wake up with PMDD face? And he's like, I'd still marry you. And I was like, oh God, no. Like I wouldn't even have a picture taken. Or so there's that. A lot of ladies with PMDD have bowel issues as well. So it's kind of that gut hormone connection as well.
Would the thyroid work in that a little bit then?
I think so.
Yeah, because I'm probably thinking like something, you know, when you're looking over, you're probably the whole...
Everything.
Internal.
It's the whole endocrine system, isn't it? It's endocrine. The whole endocrine system itself.
Yeah.
Really heavy and debilitating periods where that's from... I'm only talking from my experience where like, I can't leave the house for a couple of days. Brain fog. Literally you just don't remember anything. Like impatience. I've said swelling, like my hands will just go like, I'm like the whole massive fist.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's loads.
So I'm presuming, is this genetic or...
They're not sure yet,
at the moment,
but then we know that ADHD is genetic now, don't we? So, but again, there's just, the research is like so redundant because a lot of the research is just based on experiential kinds of how people are living with it. So I think there's a lot more research to be done now.
I mean, obviously we're talking clinical at the side, but obviously there is also people out there who look at the cycles from a spiritual level where they kind of, they'll connect it to the moon and stuff. And I do believe that is true to a certain extent, because I will kind of shift with the moon cycles a little bit.
Yeah.
But then how there's so much to think about as a woman when it comes to the cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, you have got them clinical sides, but then you have got the moon affecting people's moods as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are more educated around that part of it now as well. That it's like, well, how do I balance all of this out? And
I don't know. I think as women, we've got so many plates in the air, haven't we? Bless us. And then obviously, if you've got a condition like this, which like dominates your life every single day, it's really hard. But yeah, I'm on that little path now. What you've just said about the moon. Yeah, I watched a TED talk the other night. I can't remember the lady's name. Maybe we'll link it. And she was talking about cyclical living. So men have a hormone cycle of 24 hours.
Yeah. I was watching something like this as well. Yeah.
Of course they do. And obviously ours is 28 days, 31 days, and it's not fair, is it?
Because what was it? I think I was reading, when they wake up, their testosterone, is that how you say it?
Testosterone.
Is so high, so that's when they go out. That's why they go to work early. They're go-getters then. And it was saying how women don't quite understand the man at the moment. So when they come home at 6 o'clock and they're just a little bit moody and lethargic, it's because the levels have dropped and they need that like hour's rest. And then you're meant to like kind of just be a little bit more, should we say, soothing around them with that hour, because
we?
apparently so.
No.
We should be a bit more soothing, and that's why that's at 6 o'clock is when they've come home from their heavy day of like, it's been so hard at work.
Not like we've not had an every day, love. Sorry,
no, we've had an every 3 weeks.
And they say that's why then when they're on the couch of a night, they become about 7, 8 o'clock because the body's just resettled, that they'll be like back to their lovey-dovey selves again. And I was like, wow, like, so they really do just have that.
They have a 24-hour window. Yeah.
And I only learned that the other day as well. I was like, oh, okay.
Maybe we watch the same thing.
I reckon we're blind on Instagram.
I think, yeah,
it must have been.
We must have watched the same thing. But what's dead interesting and dead infuriating at the same time is any research that's done around hormones is done around men's hormones because ours are considered too complex and too complicated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
With it.
I know.
That's why things get missed though, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be honest, like I said to you before, there will be so many people who watch this and they probably think what they're going on about. I literally have a period and that's that. Like, I am that person.
And I love that for you.
But I would hate to think that I was anything else because I'm so busy and I'm a mum of 4 that if I couldn't get out of bed or I couldn't leave the house, I don't know how I would manage. Like it's such life changing.
Like it's honest to God, I mean, I'm educated. I've got a degree. I'm trying to run a business. I've got a 16-year-old who's autistic. I've got a toddler who's just a million miles an hour. I'm managing ADHD. I'm managing PMDD, and it's literally like some days, like it can be like 4 or 5 days out the month where I'm not leaving the house.
God.
Like I just can't. But on the plus side, getting that diagnosis just gave me that break, just gave me that mental break to go, okay.
I'm not going insane kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not a nutter. Like, I'm not going insane. This is happening to me. It's not who I am. And I've gone and educated myself on so many things, as in like my diet. Like you can eat around your cycle. You've probably spoke about that before with one of your guests, but you can, there's ways of eating around your cycle to improve your mood. I'm a big advocate for supplements and things like, like I read a quote once and I'll probably say it wrong, but it really resonated with me. It was PMDD is your normal self writing checks that your luteal self just can't cash.
Oh.
And I totally felt that in my bones. Like at the beginning of the week, you'll kind of plan your week. For me, I like book gym classes or, I kind of get my week up on the fridge and whatever. And once that hit, I used to fight it and I used to try and drag myself to the gym or to that meeting or write the essay or whatever I was doing, and I just don't. I just have to accept it.
You have to work with it, don't you? I suppose.
Yeah.
Just otherwise you
But
would.
I think if you look back in history though, don't you know, when you go back to like when there wasn't Instagram, there was nothing you could search, and then we had women that were put into like mental asylums.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't understand what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
So it was easier to kind of lock them away because they were classed as being mental health.
Well, it makes sense now that it's all women.
Exactly.
When
you kind of look at it now and you just think they just wasn't understood because all this was going on with it. And it's good that it's actually coming out now a little bit and someone is like speaking about it, because like Nick, I'm very lucky with my periods, but then my other friend Nick is quite conscious about something like with a cycle. So we've been like talking about thinking, oh, do you know what, go and get some blood tests and just check. And it's kind of, she's like, some days I'm up, some days I'm down with it.
It gives you a wobble as well. So we're finding like the more research that's coming out around ADHD is that once you get to your kind of this, well, I'm 42 now, but once you get to kind of an age where you're starting to go into your perimenopause era, that's when kind of your mask slips as well and the ADHD symptoms come to the forefront. So once because it's like dopamine and your serotonin and all these technical terms around your hormones, once all these hormones levels start dropping anyway because of your time of life, if you've got a condition that is sensitive to that, then, God help you.
Can you become quite fatigued off it?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
The sleep is just on another level.
Just like sleeping non-stop with it
literally
all.
as soon as you sit down, you just
It's not living, is it?
No.
It's sad that
It's
people
not
feel into such a... I mean, it's hard in being a woman anywhere without having the extra on top into it. I mean, I'm not saying that men don't find it hard, because by saying that, people will judge. But you know what I mean?
No, I get it.
It's hard for anybody. So to have the extra on top of that, it's...
I can't work full time. Like, I've got so many things going on in my life, so many amazing things, but I've just been offered an amazing job.
Yeah.
Alongside, obviously, getting this business up and running and getting this awareness out. But I had to say to the guy who's offered me the job, I'm really honoured, but I can only do part-time because, and it needs to be flexible, because you might have me in on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday, and I could maybe only come in Thursday, Friday, and maybe try and do Tuesday from home, or it's things like that you've literally got to go, oh, and every time we plan something now, like even my fella is totally in sync with my cycle, so he'll plan holidays or whatever, and he goes, you're going to be ovulating, then she would do that then the week after or the week before. So again, having that awareness is so invaluable.
So you can talk about it as well, because it's not something you would really speak about to your partner, is it? I mean, obviously men are fully aware that we have periods, but you wouldn't sit and chat like it might be, oh, I'm on my period this week or whatever, but Andrew would never say to me, oh, that's why you're feeling, love. Like, it's just, oh, you're on your period and that's that. Do you know what I mean? But it's nice that he has, because I think some men just would be like, oh, get on with it type of thing, you know.
There's a really big podcast, what's his name now? He gets really good guests. He's one probably the biggest in the UK.
James English, is it?
Not James
Scottish
English.
fella.
He's one of the judges on Dragon's Den as well. I can't think of his name.
Perimenopause.
Perimenopause, absolutely.
I know what you mean, but I don't know his name, mate.
So he always gets really good guests on, and they'll be kind of like maybe like kind of scientific based as well. And he had someone on saying how important it is for men to understand a woman's cycle.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course it is, because the mother of your children or someone you're living with and running a house with. So important.
That's what he was saying. He was saying just when you start to understand the woman's cycle, you're able to kind of, like you say, living day-to-day lives like just so much better, because you go, okay, this is why she's acting like this today.
Yeah.
This is why she wants to do a bit more sleep, because we are so technical.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
He is really good. When I first met him, I was lucky that he had 3 sisters.
Yeah.
So I remember like saying to him literally I think it was on our first date maybe, like, I just said, like, I've got this mad condition around my periods and like it totally ruins my life. I think that was how I sold it to him. And he was like, I've got 3 sisters, I get it. And his mum had passed away before I met him, but his mum sounds like she was amazing as well. And he's got aunties, so he's had a big female circle around him, so he was kind of in tune with it anyway. But yeah, he's amazing. He researches more than I do sometimes.
Does it affect, like, obviously people's fertility and stuff like that? Because obviously we're seeing so much more like people struggling to kind of obviously...
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
For me personally, if anything, I am so in tune with my cycle. Like, it's so important to me. But even before I knew what it was, I can tell you what ovary I'm ovulating from.
Wow.
Literally, I can say, oh, it's on the left today, it's on the right. But no, not that I know of fertility. Yeah. I mean, I try for both my kids and I was caught instantly.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I suppose though, if your hormones are that high from it, then you're obviously ovulating a lot as well. That's why you're kind of, with it all. So say, like, obviously you're thinking, okay, I might have this condition, and you go to your doctor and obviously they go, oh no, you're absolutely fine. I can imagine that's what's happening right now, because if it's only just coming out and, like you say, you're back into consult and there's only one clinician that said, I think this might be it, go and have a little read. What steps can they take? Because can you get medication to help with it, or?
So there's lots of different routes that prescribers are taking. I chose to go holistic. I chose to not take anything and go down the holistic route. So first of all, to get that diagnosis, they're asking for 3 months worth of a track cycle. Yeah. And it's very, very, it's called the SS something. I'll send you the link so you can put it in the description. It's a very, very detailed tick box exercise throughout your cycle, and they want you to do that over 3 months. So you'll be measuring things like hopelessness, despair, suicidal thoughts. Some women don't have that. Some women just have rage. Some women have both. I have both. I've attempted suicide a couple of times, and then you literally come on your period and you're like, what was it doing? Yeah. Because it's like you're being wound by a rubber band for them 2 weeks. Like, from you start ovulating till you bleed, you're begging to bleed. You're literally thinking, oh my God, I just need to come on. That's like a power phrase. And as soon as you do, it's like, oh, it's like you come out. Like, you look at home and you're like, oh God, it's me. I'm back again. And the world's like a better place. So yeah, you can track your cycle. It's very, very, very detailed across physical and mental symptoms. And they want 3 months worth of that. And then you'll kind of see a psychiatrist, or if you're lucky like me and you've got someone who will literally look at you like 20 odd years of history and go, oh my God, there. Treatment wise, birth control, which will obviously regulate how you ovulate and things like that. A lot of women go for the coil, SSRIs, obviously antidepressants. Some women go for umpectomies, whereas you take your ovaries away and wait for a full hysterectomy because I've just had enough. I've had so many years of it and I just think, you know what, I've had enough now. But there's lots of different treatment options, but essentially it's around kind of controlling your menstruation.
Yeah, and just going, it's something that you just think, do you know what I mean? Like you're actually lucky if you haven't got any of them symptoms, isn't it? And you can just get updates and you think, okay, time of the month's here with it all, because I didn't realise so many women were suffering with it.
Yeah.
That's so sad as well, though, that people could actually, like you've just said, having thoughts of suicide and potentially take your own life because of that, because it's not been recognised, or you as a person don't know what it is, and the awareness does need to be out there, doesn't it? It's
absolutely.
massive.
Definitely.
What a shame.
It is really like sad. That. I think the current statistic is 30% of women with the condition will have attempted suicide or have regular suicidal thoughts. Because when you think about it, this is something that I've said before to like a medical professional. What hope have I got? What hope? It just comes. My kids saved my life. I'm alive because I've got 2 kids. Like, without getting upset about it, I'm trying to be quite logical about it. There's no break.
Yeah.
Because you'll have them couple of days and you're like, wash me hair, feel great, reach out to me mate, have a date with me fella, and then the next minute you just, you're back down again and it's like, now again, and you just try, it's so hard.
But I think as well, you've just also got to look at it like, you know, obviously we're adults, so we can then start to go, oh God, today I'm not feeling like this and that. But people, like kiddies start their menstrual cycle 11, sometimes like at maybe like 10, 11 now. And you just obviously, like, you work with CAMS, you know, you've got that professional background with it, and you just think, how are these kiddies dealing with these thoughts that are there? Like you say, they'll probably come and be admitted to hospital, and then we're looking at other reasons that why this kiddie is behaving the way they are.
Yeah, that wouldn't be on the list of check, would it, usually?
That's something in MDTs that when I was predominantly in the child services, that was something I would always ask in an MDT. You know, if something was brought to a multidisciplinary team, that'd be my first question. Is anyone tracking this young girl's periods?
Yeah.
And it'd be,
Wouldn't even think of it. Yeah. I suppose when you think about it, if someone like yourself on the question team wasn't asking that, and then you've got someone just not even probably asking, has the girl started her periods?
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest question, and then probably wasn't being asked.
I think as well, like, going off on a tangent with it, but it's not like our diet now and our kids' diets. You know, we're not even eating real foods, are we? And obviously when you're eating, you're feeding your hormones, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
So it's teaching kids and parents, families, how to kind of eat around healthy hormones and think like food that's going to boost your mood, because if we're getting fed, especially kids, if we're getting fed like processed stuff, which is all people can afford now.
Yeah, well, we've just been talking about this, haven't we? We were just saying, obviously, where you live, it's determined on what is available to you now. So Nick's is saying, like, obviously in parts of Wigan, some supermarkets have been took now, so you have to drive to a certain area. But then if you've got someone who hasn't got a car, or the easiest thing is to go to like McDonald's or
you're given no choice. It's either you go and eat in shite or you don't eat, because there's only that option there for you, unless you drove to a supermarket or you got on a bus or you got a taxi. It's
infuriating, isn't it, when you think, you know, like you've got someone who is, you know, girl A next door, and she's got like 3 or 4 kids and she's on her own and she's working part-time and whatever, and her budget is probably like chicken nuggets, and because obviously fed is best as long as your kids are not hungry, but then you've got to think about the chemicals, and if you have got a bit of a hormone sensitivity, how is that affecting kids' moods and
equality and balance nowadays is just, it's sad when you think about it, isn't it? And then especially when, like, obviously it's affecting hormones like this, and there might be people suffering with MDTT, and then like you say, they lash out and then they're in the criminal justice system, and it's just,
I can't wait to go in there and have a chat with some of the women if I'm allowed.
Do you know what? Especially because you do hear of cases, don't you, where you hear of mummies and they've got little toddlers and they've lashed out at the toddlers. Something's gone wrong, and obviously they're, like you say, put through the justice system and then put in prison. And you just think to yourself, a woman's nurtured nature isn't to do that. Something's got to have snapped for that to happen. And we're not looking at that from them lenses as well. It's going, is there this imbalance of like PMDD, and looking at like different
You've
things.
got to look at the biopsychosocial models. So what's the biology? What's the social aspect? Are they struggling financially? Is that affecting how they're interacting with people? It is. And then obviously the psychological implications as well.
Well, it's been a very interesting chat.
For a little bleed of the month, and we don't realise how much it's like affecting people.
It can literally dominate and rule your life.
Yeah.
So where are people finding you for this?
Okay, so we are on Instagram at the moment. Just we've got no funding, so we are a CIC company. Yeah. So if anyone out there would like to sponsor us or fund us or fundraise for us, we'd love that. I do an event every month and I'm moving about, so I'm just going on free spaces wherever I can get it.
Absolutely.
But I've got talks with the NHS this week.
Amazing.
About opening up those pathways, because what they're seeing in clinical services, once these women have been treated when they're in crisis, they go and then that's it.
Yeah.
Again, they're just left. So what happens the next ovulation and the next ovulation? So we're going to be opening up pathways, which is dead exciting.
That's amazing. And it's amazing that as well, especially if you've got ladies in and out of services and they just, there's no diagnosis. They're just like, we're not.
You get bounced about.
That's it. And it's down to, and like you say, it's happening monthly.
Yeah.
Because it's a cycle. It's coming every month, isn't it? For many years when you think about it.
So we advertise our events every month on Instagram, and hopefully we'll be able to get some funding and get like a proper space soon.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm doing things like this to raise awareness of what we're doing. But it's been invaluable so far.
Yeah.
These women are literally saying, this is saving my life.
Yeah. I'm
going out with one of the women today with the kids, and then tomorrow I'm doing something else with someone else. So for me as well as the facilitator, like I've meeting some amazing women who get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who get it.
Was that obviously all them years of pain for you? You're bringing now that kind of like joy out there to go, do you know what? Look, it could be this.
Connection.
Let's connect it. Exactly. And community's everything nowadays, I always say.
Well, as an interpersonal therapist, that's kind of what I'm trained in, is like your relationships and how they can shape your mental health and stuff like that. So once I was trained in that, and I was like, oh my God, this would be amazing for the PMDD community. So yeah.
Amazing. Can we take your Instagram handle just so everyone can?
We are literally just PMDD Northwest on Instagram at the moment. Website pending. Once we get a bit of money together.
And can people come for any free advice if they want to reach out to you?
Of course they can. Yeah. So we do have a little disclaimer, and we say it's not a clinical service, and we're definitely not a diagnostic service, but you will be speaking to women. We've got women in the 60s and we've got young girls as well. We don't take anyone under 18 because there's talks of kind of suicides and things like that. But you're speaking to like veterans.
Experience
and
always.
I'm learning loads because I'm waiting for the hysterectomy. So I'm speaking to women who like, oh God, best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm speaking to women who've gone, actually no, because mine then turns out to be ADHD. So it's opening that conversation and having that peer information, dead important.
It's worldwide, and like ADHD, it's so unknown at the moment, and you are coming to like platforms to go, oh, I could have a bit of that, or like, oh, I've got a little bit of that, and it's how you're starting to learn about yourself and finding that identity by what you are listening to other people out there. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.